Hello everyone, my name is Jessica and today I will be reviewing A24's latest film, Death of a Unicorn. Very interesting title and very interesting movie. So this film follows a father, Paul Rudd, and his daughter, Jenna Ortega, who accidentally hit and kill a unicorn while driving to a weekend retreat, where his billionaire boss seeks to exploit the creature's miraculous curative properties. So that's already a very interesting premise right off the bat, and if you've seen the trailer, you kind of know that that's what the movie is about. But something I did enjoy about it was that despite the basic plot being laid out in the trailer, the movie still found ways to surprise you and things that it didn't give away, which is one of my biggest pet peeves when trailers give away way too much. But this movie did not do that, which I'm very glad for, because then there wouldn't have been such twists or turns that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, I would have to say that the biggest standout of this movie was Jenna Ortega's performance, which shouldn't be too surprising because she's an amazing actress. No matter what role she is in, she's always giving it her all, and especially with this one where she has to play an angsty teen, I feel like that comes so naturally to her because she just exudes that vibe in real life. Like, you can't help it. I'm sorry, Jenna. I know you're not a teen, but like that's the vibe you give. And yeah, so she just gives that naturally. So then it just really came easy during this film and it was super believable. And yeah, so she was just a very big standout and I really enjoyed her performance, especially during the more emotional moments of the movie. I thought she was great and it really made me forget she was who she was, like I was fully immersed and I thought that she was her character. And I also thought that her dynamic with Paul Rudd was really interesting. I feel like they both have really good chemistry with one another, and I definitely believe them as the father and daughter duo that they're trying to portray. I will say I wish their bond would have been a little bit more explored, but that's more so on the plot's side and the dialogue, not so much their performance, because I thought their chemistry was on point. And then also, this is not something I usually comment on, but I thought that the CGI was pretty good. I feel like there's lots of movies now where they have mystical creatures or just like animals in general and they make it look so bad. But I don't know, they definitely put some budget into this, so I don't know, it was not horrible. Like, obviously, you can look at the screen and tell that's not a real unicorn. There's no such thing, obviously. Who knows? But still, like I thought it was pretty good and it didn't take me out of that experience of trying to believe the movie, so that's something that I thought they did pretty well. Alright, and something else I did enjoy was the fact that the movie had this comedic undertone throughout. There were lots of good jokes thrown in there, and I feel like that's really good, especially when you have such a serious premise. You can't make it too serious, otherwise it's not that enjoyable in my opinion. So I thought that them bringing that comedy into it was really great, and there was a specific character, I'm not going to say who it was, but every time they had a one line or anything like that, I was laughing, and I heard people laughing in the theater as well, so I think that everybody was enjoying that. I also enjoyed all of the lore that gets thrown in about unicorns. Like, I don't know if that stuff is for real, but if it is, that's really interesting. But even if it's not, I just thought that it was great that they were bringing so much lore and thought into the background of unicorns and their history that, could be. Like, who's to say if unicorns are real at the end of the day? But yeah, I thought that that was great that they were able to expand on that and give us some background on the unicorn so that we're not just left guessing, like, where did they come from? Like, no, I want to know. Like, why else do you think I showed up to this movie? Not to know about unicorns? Hello? Alright, something else that I enjoyed was the gore aspect. I know not everyone's a big fan of that, but I thought that they did it pretty well. Obviously, it's not a good movie to watch if you're squeamish about those things, but personally, I'm fine with that. So I thought that they did it pretty well and they had some interesting scenes in there. I'm not gonna say too much, but I thought that they did it pretty well and took a unique route to lots of gory scenes. And I also want to commend this movie for being such an original story. I feel like Nowadays, everything feels like a remake of something, but this felt truly original. I haven't seen a film like this, and I just really appreciated a unique plot. And we need to bring back more mythical creature stories. Like, why is that not such a thing anymore? I feel like that's so interesting, and especially when it's something that's not in real life. Like, why aren't we doing that? Like, that's why we watch movies, for escapism and to see things we don't usually see in real life. So I just feel like they should bring more of that back. But I'm so glad that this story did that, and it was really enjoyable for me because I love mythical stuff and just unique concepts in general. So I really enjoyed that. Okay, so I don't have a lot of cons for this movie specifically, but I will name a couple just because, they did come to my head. So this is the only one I was thinking about while I was watching the movie, particularly Paul Rudd's character. I didn't really find it believable how the character changed throughout the story, because they were such a way for so long that for them to just turn and be different in the end, it just felt out of character and it didn't feel earned. And I just feel like they could have built that up better, or maybe they shouldn't have taken that far to the point where I wouldn't even think it's believable for that character to have a switch up, and this might not even make sense to anyone if you haven't watched the movie already, but I don't want to say specifically what happened just in case, because no spoilers, but yeah, I just didn't really find his change up believable. So I wish they could have delved a little deeper into that, or changed around how he went about things, just so that it wouldn't have felt like such whiplash whenever he just decided to be a different person. Right, and while I did say that this movie is really funny and I did enjoy that, there were a couple of times where the jokes didn't hit, where I thought, like, okay, now you're trying to be too funny, and am I gonna take you seriously after, this just happened? But overall, it wasn't that big of an issue. I just thought I would bring it up just in case any of you guys noticed that too, or, something to look out for if you haven't watched the movie yet. But it didn't really take away from the overall experience, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. So yeah, I think there's definitely way more pros than cons to this movie, and I can't really fight against it because I did enjoy it. It was an enjoyable time for me. I would have to rate it an 8.5 out of 10, which is not bad at all. Would I rewatch it? Possibly. I don't know if it's that kind of movie that you rewatch, but I think I could see myself watching it again once or twice. I did enjoy it, and I feel like it's got a really interesting concept, and it's just so refreshing to see something different. So I definitely recommend, if you're thinking about going to watch it, definitely do it, because movies like this need to be made more with such unique concepts, and I feel like the movie industry, it doesn't really reward that as much anymore. It just rewards sequels or poor thought out remakes. So I definitely think that audiences should attend more of these movies, even if they're unsure about if they're gonna like it. That's a good thing. It's good to not know what you're gonna get exactly. Since when did we want the whole plot laid out in front of us before the movie even started? So yeah, I definitely recommend this movie to anyone who's a fan of gore, mythical concepts, unique storylines. I thought it had all of that, and then some comedy too. So if you're a fan of all of that, then I definitely think you would enjoy this movie, and you should go to your local theater to see it, or if you have to, then wait until it's on a streaming platform. But definitely recommend watching it in the theaters, because I feel like that's the best way to experience any movie. But yeah, so I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day or night, and please leave a like and a comment if there's something else you would like me to review. And yeah, peace.